Hi everyone, Mrs. Moore's here again, and I'm going to read you another story. This is a math story that I really like. It's called One Grain of Rice, and it is by Demi. Here we go. Long ago in India, there lived a Raja who believed that he was wise and fair, as a Raja should be. Raja is like a king. The people in his province were rice farmers. The Raja decreed that everyone must give nearly all of their rice to him. I will store the rice safely, the Raja promised the people, so that in time of famine, everyone will have rice to eat, and no one will go hungry. Each year, the Raja's rice collectors gathered nearly all of the people's rice and carried it away to the royal storehouse. For many years, the rice grew well. The people gave nearly all of their rice to the Raja, and the storehouses were always full. But the people were left with only just enough rice to get by. Then one year, the rice grew badly, and there was famine and hunger. The people had no rice to give to the Raja. They had no rice to eat. Look at that. I'll show you a close-up of the picture. They look hungry. The Raja's ministers implored him, "Your Highness, let us open the royal storehouses and give the rice to the people as you promised." "No," cried the Raja. "How do I know how long the famine may last? I must have the rice for myself. Promise or no promise, a Raja must not go hungry." Time went on, and the people grew more and more hungry, but the Raja would not give out the rice. One day, the Raja ordered a feast for himself and his court, as it seemed to him a Raja should do now and then, even when there is a famine. A servant led an elephant from a royal storehouse to the palace, carrying 2 full baskets of rice. A village girl named Rani saw that a trickle of rice was falling from one of the baskets. Quickly, she jumped up and walked along beside the elephant, catching the falling rice in her skirt. She was clever and began to make a plan. I love when math can make you clever and help you come up with a plan. See what she does. At the palace, the guard cried, "Halt, thief! Where are you going with that rice?" "I am not a thief," Rani replied. "This rice fell from one of your baskets, and I am returning it now to the Raja." When the Raja heard about Rani's good deed, he asked his ministers to bring her before him. "I wish to reward you for returning what belongs to me," the Raja said to Rani. "Ask me for anything, and you shall have it." Think of all the things you could have asked for. A lot. "Your Highness," said Rani, "I do not deserve any reward at all, but if you wish, you may give me 1 grain of rice." "Only 1 grain of rice?" exclaimed the Raja. "Surely you will allow me to reward you more plentiful, as a Raja should." "Very well," said Rani. "If it pleases your Highness, you may reward me in this way. Today, you will give me a single grain of rice. Then each day, for 30 days, you will give me double the rice you gave me the day before. Thus, tomorrow you will give me 2 grains of rice, and the next day 4 grains of rice, and so on for 30 days. She knows her math. "This still seems to be a modest reward," said the Raja, "but you shall have it." And Rani was presented with a single grain of rice. The next day, Rani was presented with 2 grains of rice. And the following day, Rani was presented with 4 grains of rice. On the 9th day, Rani was presented with 256 grains of rice. She received in all 511 grains of rice, only enough for a small handful. This girl is honest, but not very clever, thought the Rajah. She would have gained more rice by keeping what fell into her skirt. On the 12th day, Rani received 2,048 grains of rice, about 4 handfuls. On the 13th day, she received 4,096 grains of rice, enough to fill a bowl. Those are big numbers. On the 16th day, Rani was presented with a bag containing 32,768 grains of rice. Altogether, she had enough rice for 2 full bags. This is working out for her, isn't it? This doubling adds up to more rice than I expected, thought the Rajah, but surely her reward won't amount to much more. He should have gone to math class. He could have figured it out. On the 20th day, Rani was presented with 16 more bags filled with rice. On the 21st day, she received 1,048,576 grains of rice, enough to fill a basket. On the 24th day, Rani was presented with 8,388,608 grains of rice, enough to fill 8 baskets, which were carried to her by 8 royal reindeers. I wonder if you can write that number down. Could you write down the number 8,388,608? It's a very long number, isn't it? Don't forget your commas in there when you write them. Oh my gosh, look at this. On the 27th day, 32 Brahma bulls were needed to deliver 64 baskets of rice. The Rajah was deeply troubled. 1 grain of rice has grown very great indeed, he thought, but I shall fulfill the reward to the end, as a Rajah should. She's getting quite the load here, isn't she? On the 29th day, Rani was presented with the contents of 2 royal storehouses. And I have to unfold the page for this. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Whoa. Those are all camels carrying all that. On the 30th day, this is going to be hard to hold, but I'll do my best. On the 30th and final day, 256 elephants crossed the province, carrying the contents of the last 4 royal storehouses. 536,870,912 grains of rice. And I like how the artist drew these elephants in an array, but look at this. I'll go slowly so you can see. Ooh, look at this. That is so much rice. And it's interesting because I wouldn't think rice is so small. You wouldn't think that even if you had a lot of it, that it would add up to this much. But whew, it added up pretty quickly, didn't it? Here we go. Altogether, Rani had received more than 1 billion grains of rice. The Rajah had no more rice to give. And what will you do with this rice? The Rajah said with a sigh. Now that I have none. I shall give it to all the hungry people, said Rani, and I shall leave a basket of rice for you too, if you promise from now on to take only as much rice as you need. I promise, said the Rajah. And look at this. Oh my gosh, look. Look at all this rice. Wow. I hope they like rice. They're going to be eating a lot of it. And for the rest of his days, the Raja was truly wise and fair, as a Raja should be. I like this last page here. So it shows you from 1 grain of rice to 1 billion. And it tells you that each day Rani received double the amount of rice as the day before. See how quickly 1 grain of rice doubles into so much more. And if you were to count how many grains of rice Rani received in all and add all those numbers together, see if you can figure out what the answer is. I'm going to cover it up. If you figure it out, then you let me know in class. But it is over 1 billion. And here it is. Oh, look at that. Every day, she got more and more. Look how huge. So the moral of the story is, if you know your math, you can go far in this world. Hope you guys have a great day and hope you enjoyed my story. Take care.